Okay, listen. Outfit inspired today by the Practical Magic 2 trailer. Because I've been watching it like crazy. Coconut's been replaying, got some Stevie Nicks going. I'm ready. I'm so ready. Anyways, hi. This is Reading with Chloe. I do read sometimes. It should be Chloe Reads Sometimes is really what it should be called, because your girl's been struggling. But in my defense, in case you are tired of me saying it, or not tired of me saying it, I moved. So I've been a little busy. This is my new bookshelves behind me. Living my dark academia, dark witch, dark aesthetic dream over here. I have new shelves. So book tour, kind of, but I really don't want to do it. I really don't want to do a book tour. But am I doing it? No, because that takes a lot of work. And I did just make one right before I tore my previous shelves down and like moved everything. So I don't feel like going through that editing pain again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll go away. I'll go away. You can just look at the shelves. Are they in focus? So I've moved. This is my new library. I don't feel like doing a bookshelf tour. Mostly because I know my books are going to change very soon. I doubt, like, this was kind of just throw all the books on the shelves, and I don't feel like redoing it yet, but I will soon. I also want to add little things to it. I want to decorate it a little bit more, make it a little bit more whimsy, add some lights of some sort, plants. I think I want to do fake plants. I want to embrace the whimsical bitch. That's what I want to be. I've done this video before. I will constantly probably do it in the future, but new bookshelf, new books, new tag, new prompts. I'm gonna do the bookshelf scavenger hunt. I just feel like that's so easy. It's such an easy tag. I like it. It's a little bit of a challenge. It makes me move around. It kind of will show off the new bookcase a little bit. It felt like a compromise. But I feel like this is always my compromise. I feel like I'm always giving you bookshelf scavenger hunt tag. Are you tired of it yet? Probably. I think I'm tired of it. There's so much more space in front of my shelves. Like, it's like, you guys couldn't really tell previously, but my like corner my bookshelves were in right next to my bed, so you couldn't really move around in front of my bookshelves. This is so nice. It's so nice. It's so nice. This is the book tag scavenger hunt. I don't know who the original creator of this is, though if I find it, I will tag them below, or if you know, please let me know. Cool. One is to find an author name or title with a Z in it. Let's go. Okay. This is going really great so far. Oh, ooh. Okay, I have two options. Just for like, I'm gonna pick a couple maybe per prompt. The first one I did spot on my shelf for a book or an author that has a Z in the name or title would be Hafasa Fazil, if I'm saying her name correctly. I've met this author twice now. One at Y'all West, once when she was in Boise for the We Hunt the Flame tour. So I have both of these, I believe, now signed by her. I did take this Tempest of Tea. This is the Fairy Tempest of Tea to Y'all West. But I freaking love this cover so much. I was not the biggest fan of this book though. This book is pitched as a team room during the day and like a vampire blood den at night with heists. My family did a family book club. We all got to pick a book every month, and this was one of my picks for our family book club. And I was so interested in it by like tea room during day, vampire like feeding den kind of thing at night. I was so like, that sounds so cool. And then it didn't really deliver on that premise. And so I just went into it wrong, basically. I think I gave it 3 stars in the end. But it was slower. I didn't really care about the characters. Like, I feel like there's better heist novels out there. The heist isn't really a main point of it, neither is the tea room. So I decided not to continue on with the series, but I did decide to keep this first book because it is stunning and I think it's so beautiful. People were going to tell me it was like this high fantasy tea room vampire blood den heist book, and I don't really think it delivered on that elevator pitch. Her other book, We Hunt the Flame, is I believe also a trilogy. I have not started this trilogy yet. I am going to read it. I would like to give her this other series another chance more than The Tempest in the Tea. And I would like to give it a chance. It is a high fantasy. I am a high fantasy girly, so we are going to try it. To be honest, I don't know if I can even tell you what this book is about, but I believe this was her debut fantasy novel. People lived because she killed, people died because he lived. Zafira is the hunter disguising herself as a man when she braves the cursed forest of the Ars to feed her people. Just by that, it gives me Mulan vibes because of the girl disguising as a guy. I don't know why Mulan's on my mind lately, but there is a Z. The only other Z I think I have on my shelf was Isabella Banes, What the River Knows and Where the Library Hides. This is one of my favorite duologies, and I chose the other books to show you as well because I believe I've talked about these before in a scavenger hunt. I tend to gravitate towards these a lot for a scavenger hunt. They just work for so many prompts. They really do. I read these two. I really, really enjoyed the first one. The second one was all right. It does give like mummy Egyptian vibes, and I freaking love those vibes. This was also another book club book for my family and me. All the girlies basically loved this book. We all thought the main MMC was super attractive and we loved him, and he was like your classic book boyfriend. He was sarcastic and witty, and I think his name is Whitford, yeah. So sarcastic and witty, and it's just like, it had the adventure, it had a little bit of magic, urban fantasy kind of vibes in there, mixed with like, we all grew up watching the Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser and loved it. So we all really, really enjoyed the first book. Like, the first book was a 5-star. Second book, I believe I gave it 3 or 4 stars. It just wasn't the conclusion I was hoping it would be, but it was still like a fun time, and it's still one of my favorite duologies. I have her other 2 books here. This is her most recent adult release, The Graceless Heart by Isabella Banes, and then this is another series of her, Together We Burn. These are 2 books I'm hoping to get to soon. I believe this is another duology or trilogy, and then this is her newest and debut adult book. And I did start the audiobook of this one. I believe it's like Spanish inspired, or inspired from Spain, or some sort of like thing there. I only listened to like the first couple minutes as like a sample. I do wish to continue it someday though. While I was searching through my favorites, I found a third author that has a Z, and that is Kira Azair. This is a recent fairy loot I got. I don't really know what this book is though, but look how stunning it is. It looks like, ooh. I committed my second treasonous act of the day and reached for my specter. It roiled out of me like a thread from an internal skin, and I exhaled an ever-present tightness ease within me. What are you? It looks like a high fantasy with wielders and physical powers, heiress to a noble lineage, and a royal court. Interesting. It is stunning, but hey, I found another Z. Okay, I hope you don't mind like a ton of books per prompt. I don't know if they'll all be that way, but I think it's kind of fun. Gives you like a little bit more variety, you know? Number 2 is to find a classic. Okay, there are no classics behind me, I do not believe. My classics are on my short shelf to the side here. These won't take long. I do have this stunning edition of Dracula. Have I read Dracula? No, but I am a vampire Halloween Dracula girly, especially Dracula on Monsters Unchained at Epic Universe. He is such a daddy. Oh my goodness. Okay, anyways. So I do have this Barnes & Noble edition of Dracula. In the same edition, I have A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I purely bought this and wanted to read it because of Clockwork Angel. And the classic I have read, because I do not read classics. I'm not a classic girl. Usually not for me. But this is F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby. I love The Great Gatsby. I love the aesthetic of it, the Roaring Twenties. It's short, it's easy to read. It's probably my favorite classic, I would say, of the few that I have read. And the play, I love the Broadway play. Ugh. Find a book with a key on it. Ooh. Fantasy books probably have more keys on them. Let's see. I'm gonna stay away from those. Oh. I'm an idiot. I know a very obvious key one. A key. I have 2 options for you again. Are we surprised? It's a Carrie Maniscalco book. This is Throne of the Fallen, Carrie Maniscalco. Key. And I don't know why there's a bunch of keys on it. Listen, okay, this is the first in the Standoff Kingdom of the Wicked series by Carrie Maniscalco. This follows the Prince of Envy. Yes, it is a standalone series, but do I recommend you read it that way? Absolutely not. Read Kingdom of the Wicked, Kingdom of the Cursed, Kingdom of the Feared. How could I do that first? And then read these in order. Just do it. I don't know why people are being like, it's a standalone spicy book you can read. No, you gotta read the whole series. I'm sorry, that's just how it works. There are 2 others. Is it 3 others now? Hold on. Throne of the Fallen, or Throne of Fallen, Throne of Nightmares, Throne of Secrets. Is that right? There's 3. We're getting the others 2. They're all of them follow different Prince of Sin, Prince of Hell. First trilogy follows Wrath. This one is Envy. We also recently just got Throne of Nightmares, oh my god. Throne of Nightmares, yes. I made a whole video about it because I got an arc and I was very excited about getting an arc. Why can I think of Sloth? Is the other one Lust? No, not Lust. Who is it? Gluttony? Gluttony, that's it. Our steamy romantasy books. There is an overarching plot among all of them. All the demons have different curses that they're trying to figure out. I'm begging, pleading on my knees that we get Pride, and I think he's going to be the last one we get, based off of an Easter egg in the most recent one. I think I'm most excited for his story, and I think I'm going to have to wait the longest for it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad about it at all. Anyways, Carrie Maniscalco is my favorite author of all time. I have a tattoo for this series. I'm going to see if I can show it without flashing. It's right there. I have my House Wrath dagger because Wrath is my daddy. But I was going to see how long it took me to pick a Carrie Maniscalco book, and obviously not that long. I mean, we're 3 questions in and I already have a Carrie Maniscalco book in my hands, so whatever. In case you're curious, this whole shelf, like this one is a full Carrie Maniscalco shelf. Yeah. The Swan Daughters by Rashni Choksney, yes, is a recent fairy loot as well, but hey, there's a key right there, and there's a key right there. To Find Love is a Curse. I actually don't know what this is about. I'm guessing this is a swan's, like a retelling of either the Swan Princess or... This is the same author who wrote The Star-Touched Queen and The Gilded Wolves. Princess Aris, oh sorry, wow, I can't read. Prince Aris knows that marriage means murder. After a poorly worded wish generations ago, all one needs to rule the Isle of Malice are the heart and the hand in marriage of the kingdom's heir. Regardless of their survival afterwards, Aris' only chance at a long life is true love. When his parents announce a tournament of brides, a throng of beautiful bachelorettes arrive at the castle. His only hope is Damelza, a swan who has fled to the castle for sanctuary. She is a swan? I don't know, but there's a key on this book. 4 is to find something on your bookshelf that is not a book. Ooh, I have a lot. Like this crown I got from the Broadway play Anastasia. My special edition Army Bomb. And then my new version 4 Army Bomb. I just got this when I went to the Aryang tour in Tampa, but got my Army Bombs on my shelves. I got this years ago at Disneyland, I think during the 60th anniversary, so 10 years ago. This is the Jim Shore Rapunzel figurine. She is one of my favorite things. She is so pretty. Rapunzel's my favorite princess, so she gets a little spot on the shelf. One of the only Funko Pops that I like to display, and it's the big toothless one, because he's just so freaking cute. I'm not a big Funko Pops girly. Not 1, not 2, but 3 lightsabers. This one, in all fairness, is my boyfriend's, and I do like his design. Oh, his is dead. The blades are in storage, but these are from Savi's workshop. All of these were done in Disneyland. This is this Peace and Justice? I don't know. But this is the newer version of my original lightsaber that I made, and I'm so jealous because I like the newer parts more. But this one is my original. And then the next time I went, I did make a dark side or a Sith. Mine is dead too. Lightsaber, so I got my Sith one as well. Find the oldest book on your shelf. This is the works of Shakespeare. We found this at an estate sale, I want to say. I think it's from 1902. But yeah, it says 1902 right there. I don't know if that's correct for this edition specifically. It does look old. I mean, the binding is falling apart. I also have an old Welsh book somewhere and I don't know what happened to it. Eversley edition of Shakespeare is a highly regarded 11-volume set published by Macmillan, typically dating between 1902 and 1904. So this book is over 100 years old. And it's one of 11. I just have one of them. It's not in great shape, but it's a fun little book to have. You can buy the full 11 sets for $2-ish, $100-ish, it looks like. So they're not like that rare, but it's kind of like a fun little thing to have on your shelf. That's my oldest physical book. I don't know if they meant like the oldest ever written on my shelf, but it's Shakespeare, so I'm sure Shakespeare would count anyways. Find a book with a woman on it. Bam. Wow. How will I choose? Like an actual photo of a woman, or can it be a cartoon or a animated drawing of a woman? If it has to be an actual like photograph of a woman, we're gonna talk about some like classics I grew up on these books, because I feel like older books are the ones that have like actual photographs of like people on them. So I have the selection here by Kira Cass. This is dystopian, The Bachelorette. The Bachelor? The Bachelor. I feel like everybody already knows what the selection is, but in case you don't, they are a fun time. These are very much old. Not very much old, but like this was when I first got into like the reading scene, I guess. Everybody was reading the selection. Everybody had read the selection. I feel like these are a lot of like people's like first kind of dystopian books they kind of read. They are entertaining. America is one of the most annoying female main characters I have ever read. I do love Maxon. That's his name, right? Prince Maxon? Whoop. This was when I worked for Beacon Book Box. They did a selection box and they worked with Kira Cass and she signed all of them. But yeah, there's that. I also have here Ruby Red by Kirsten Gier. This was actually one of the first books I read when I was getting into like the reading era of Chloe, which I think I started reading in 2014 or 15, maybe around then. And I got this book in a book subscription. My dad, for like my birthday or something, subbed me to a book subscription box. I think it was, doesn't even exist anymore. I want to say it was Uppercase or something like that. And they sent you literally in a bag like a book and a bookmark. Like that was it. And it was just like a monthly book subscription and they just sent you that. And I'm pretty sure I got sent Ruby Red in that. But 2 and 3 were already out when they sent it. So I can't quite remember the actual like thing, because I binged all 3 of these within a day. Like in a day I binged all 3 of these books. This was a translated from German. So I wonder if I don't really know what they did. Maybe they published all 3 at the same time here in the US because it was a translated. Maybe that's why all 3 of them were already out when I got sent this in that subscription box. I want to call it Uppercase, I think, or Upper, something like that. You guys are bringing back the memories. And I remember sitting on the floor of my dad's apartment like summertime, and he had to work all day. And so I was by myself all day. And I remember reading all 3 of them. But I only had the first one physically, so I had to go buy the second and third one later on. But I think I read them ebook or like audiobook or something like that. But like this was one of those first trilogies I like read when I was first getting into reading. It was this and like Clockwork Angel. If you don't know what Ruby Red is, she's part of this family like bloodline. In the family, basically this gene is passed down which allows them to time travel, and in every generation there is a girl and there is a guy time traveler. And they like have to work together, and she wasn't expected to be the time traveler. They thought her cousin was going to be it, so her cousin was prepped for like being the time traveler. She was taking all these like history classes and like etiquette classes and all this stuff. And suddenly one day at school, our main girl is not feeling well, so she like has to rush to the bathroom, and in the middle of rushing to the bathroom, she gets taken back in time. And it is a trilogy. They're really easy to read, though I did reread them recently, and same with like most of your like early 2010 books, there is some stuff in here where it's like, ooh, okay, like maybe a little bit of like fat shaming, things that really wouldn't slide nowadays, but I mean, it still doesn't slide, but like we just weren't thinking about that back then. These still have Ruby Red, Sapphire Blue, Emerald Green still have like that place in my heart. And there are movies, there's German movies or something out I haven't watched. Maybe I should watch those. That'd be fun. I'm gonna show this one too. It doesn't really count because it's not like an actual like photograph of a girl, but I want to share it because it's new. It's Carrie Maniscalco, and I think it's so beautiful. Look at this new edition of Escaping from Houdini. Focus, please. It's so stunning. It's so stunning. Look at her and Thomas. This is the third book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, Carrie Maniscalco, my favorite series of all time. Love them so much. This new cover is just so stunning. This is detective couple 1800s, well, like a slow burn couple. They're getting together throughout the series. Different true crime cases turned fictional. First one has to do with Jack the Ripper. Second is a Dracula-like killer. Third is Houdini inspired. And fourth is H.H. Holmes. Just love this series with all my heart. Find a book that has an animal on it. I can do that. You know, I was actually really confident in that, and now I can't think. I feel like we're in that like old nostalgic feeling right now. So there's part of me that just wants to do the Raven Boys. I'm talking about the selection. I'm talking about Ruby Red. I'm talking about like those old nostalgic books that like really hit. Maggie Stiefvater's The Raven Boys, this whole series, and I only own 2 of them. I have this one and Blue Lily Lily Blue. Those are the only 2 I have of these. I need to collect all of these and give these a reread. These were very popular. Like, people loved them. The Raven Boys. I honestly don't even think I could tell you what they're about anymore, other than I think the main girl is named Blue, right? Or something like that. Blue, yeah. And she has this curse, I think, where something about her kissing someone and they die. Is it that? This was so popular and it's so nostalgic, but my brain is so fuzzy when I like think about it. I really want to buy the other 2, find the other 2, and give this whole series a reread. I remember loving it. I remember reading them so fast. This was also that like nostalgic, this gives me that nostalgic when I was first reading kind of series vibes. And I feel like there's so many new readers now, like the whole new generation of book talk don't talk about these. I was called old. I don't know if I've shared this story. I was called old by some girls that are like 2 years or 3 years younger than me because I had read A Court of Thorns and Roses or A Throne of Glass as they were coming out. So they were like approached me, and when we were talking about Throne of Glass, and I like was like, oh yeah, I read them, and they're like, okay, you have to tell us. This is such a side tangent now. How did you read them? Did you read Assassin's Blade first? What is the correct way? I read them in publication order because they were coming out as I was reading them, and they called me old. So there's a whole new generation of book talk girlies that are getting all these like romantasy books. They're reading Sarah J. Maas, all this stuff. These are like what I was reading. These are my thing. I like that 2014, 15-ish years of booktube and bookstagram, and was not nearly the same as what it is today, which is crazy. But I feel like a lot of like this newer generation or this newer push of reading haven't read these like nostalgic series that I feel like a lot of us who were reading in like 2014, 2015 have. You know? Is that weird? That turned into something weird. I'm sorry. 8 is to find a book with a male protagonist, and not gonna lie, the first book I automatically went to was Percy Jackson, because I don't read a lot of books with a male main character. I'm just not into men, you know? Well, okay, hold on. That's a lie. I do like men, but very limited. Anyways, there are a couple that I do have, though. That is not Percy Jackson. And I'm gonna choose one I've read recently. and I don't think is as popular because maybe I just don't hear people talking about it. But also, I'm not really in the reader space as much as I used to be. I'm trying to get back. I really am. But right here, I have a book that was recommended to me by Sam over at Samantha Donovan. She is another booktuber, bookstagrammer, girly, and I love them. Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. This is quite the time. And there is queer representation. It is a male protagonist. It's such a short story. And it was honestly a 3-star for the longest time until probably the last 20% of the book, and it really bumped it up to a 4-star. Like, it was a fantastic read. This was probably my first, I don't know if you would call this body horror or thriller. Sam and me had a whole live stream where I was reading this, and she was trying to explain the differences between all the horror, thriller, category, body horror stuff, because I'm just not a horror girly. And I'm so sorry, Sam, but you're gonna have to re-explain it all to me. This has, what's his name? Thomas? Andrew? What's his name? Andrew is the main lead in this, with Thomas, I believe, being his best friend. There is queer representation. It has kind of dark academia. They're at a school. There is horror aspects, definitely. That's like the main overall thing is horror, thriller. I don't know the difference, so don't come at me. Unless you're Sam, then you're allowed to. This was recommended to me by Sam, and I actually really enjoyed it enough to actually go buy the physical edition. And it's so pretty now. And you know what's so nice about these new shelves is I don't have to be as strict about what books I buy and keep because I have more space. I'm so ready to start keeping books that I didn't like as much. Like, I wish I would have kept the Cruel Prince series by Holly Black. I got rid of that trilogy because it wasn't my favorite and I needed space on my shelves. So there's a lot of like those series that I would love to rebuy and re-get now that I have the space for them. There are some other male protagonist books. I feel like all my male protagonist books are queer. Like, they're all queer books. Well, Percy Jackson has a lot of queer characters in it too. I'm thinking like Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens is another like male protagonist pirate book that I have. Queer. Like, the male main characters I have on my shelf are usually gay. I just don't like men. Yeah. Anyways, 9. Find a book with only words on the cover. Ooh. I have a lot of special editions that probably are only words. I have here Brimstone and Quicksilver, Callie Hart, literally just black cover with words and foil. These are the exclusive covers. Basically, they changed the covers because she got a lot of bullying about her original cover, which I liked a lot. Why did you guys bully authors like that? Come on! Anyways, Quicksilver, I loved. This is a high fantasy, romantic-y, spicy book. Brimstone, I truly struggled with. It took me a long time to get through the second book. But, I feel like everybody already kind of knows what these books are. They're high fantasy, alchemist kind of ish, with like the Quicksilver and stuff like that. Like, different things are happening. I don't know the best way to explain this other than there is what's his name? Kingfisher, the main guy, everybody and their mom is currently obsessed with. Is that enough? I'm gonna call it enough. Find a book with illustrations in it. An Archive of Romance. Ava Reed. This is the companion novella novel to A Study in Dreaming and A Study in Drowning. A Study in Drowning and A Theory of Dreaming. I call them one of my favorite duologies, and I can never remember the titles. This just came out recently, and I think it is so stunning, but it is literally just full of, like, news clip articles, sketches, art, stuff like that, little things throughout the series. Basically, you would really only buy this if, you liked the first two. And it has a little short story at the end of it. That's really cute. A Study in Drowning, Ava Reed, very dark academia-esque. Like, it has those feelings. Definitely trigger warnings in this. Look up trigger warnings. There is stuff about mental health and depression, suicide, eating disorders, all that stuff is in here. Dark academia, like she is a student going to, I feel like there's a lot of Welsh inspiration here. But I really enjoyed this book. I loved it a lot. There's like this fairy tale whimsical aspect to it as well. 11, find a book with gold lettering. This is Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iriu, one of the Heavenly Bodies series. I've heard a lot about this, have not read this yet. I've been told by people they think I would really like it, but I really don't know much about it. I think the second book is now out, but I think it's going to be like a bigger series. So I've been kind of waiting until more of the series is out until I like dive into it. But it is a fantasy, romance or romantasy. It's a TikTok sensation. Heavenly Bodies is the first book in a dazzling new romantasy series that blends Greek mythology, shadow magic with tantalizing enemies to lovers romance that will rewrite the stars. And in a world ruled by cruel and merciless stars, Alara has been cursed by fate. A prophecy promises she will fall for a star, but that will kill them both. Like, I do think I would really like it, but I've just been kind of waiting to see what the overall vibes are. The second book just came out, I believe. So it's a newer series, but that's some gold lettering. Find a diary. True or fictional? Ooh. I think the closest thing I would have would be this, which is told in letters. If I want to go full back to nostalgia and like do Shatter Me as well, because there are diary entries in it. But I don't think I have like an actual like diary. But I do have Secrets of Blackthorn Hall, which is told in forms of letters. There's that. I don't think I have an actual diary. I mean, Shatter Me has diary entries in it. That might be a closer one. I don't have a diary. Find a book written by an author with a common surname, like Smith or Jones. Should I do this one? This is Master of One by Jada Jones and Danny Bennett. This, I believe, is a heist book. 6 Fey Relics, 1 Daring Thief, the score of a lifetime. It's either a competition or a heist book. Life in the Queen Cities isn't easy, especially for a 2-bit thief like Rags, who forces him to steal 6 pieces of an immeasurably powerful ancient Fey relic. Rags is still determined to somehow get away unscathed. So this is a heist novel. Master of One. I have not read it yet, but it is written by 2 different authors, and I feel like Jada Jones and Bennett, they're common-ish last names, right? Favorite childhood book. Ooh. I have this whole series thanks to my mom a couple Christmases ago, or for my birthday or something like that, a holiday. She got me the collection of Beverly Cleary's Ramona Beezus books. Beezus, Mona, Beezus, Henry, like this author wrote a bunch of like little books. These are like my childhood books. I read these all the time. There's a movie with Selena Gomez too, I believe, is like what I would qualify as like my childhood. There's a lot of nostalgia in this. I read a lot of these. Like I wish I still had my original copies. I don't, but I have the whole collection of these ones, which is fun. Ooh, find a book on your shelf that takes place in the earliest time period. Oh, ain't no way. How am I just supposed to know this? I mean, I know I have some books from the 1800s. I think... When is Bridgerton? 17? That might be the earliest. Other than like fantasy books that are like ancient times. Like I have pirate books. Pirates were a long time ago. Like, am I thinking like physical world, like our world the longest period? Like Frankenstein, like 1700s, Dracula, like Bridgerton, 1700s. I have a ton of books written from the 1800s. But like, if we're thinking fantasy, then like pirates, like I have pirate books. I have Ancient Asia. This one's based in 1593. And I think that's gonna count because this is By Any Other Name by Aaron Cotter. This is Shakespearean-esque. Ooh, Lady Macbeth. Hold on. I forget about my Shakespeare retellings because they're all, I think, 1500s. Does this one give an exact year? I mean, it's same-ish time period, but it doesn't give an exact year like the other one does. Whatever. So, okay. Back to by Any Other Name by Aaron Cotter. This, I believe, is queer. It literally says in the beginning it's 1593, which April 1593 is probably the earliest book in like a fantasy book with a direct year that it correlates to that I could find. This is about two actors. Like, I haven't actually read this yet, so grain of salt. But I freaking love the cover. And it is about two actors, like Shakespearean actors, but like it's a boy actor playing a female part. I don't know how, but it's queer representation because like it's two male leads, I think, that fall in love with. I don't know. I could be completely wrong about all of this. But it's London 1593. He is a Shakespearean stage actor, and there's it's a high-stakes, high-drama mystery set in the vividly rendered Shakespearean London. Because I also have a Viking book. Like, Vikings. But it's not going to give me, like, a direct year. You know? Like, Vikings are way older than, like, Shakespearean London time. But it doesn't give a direct year. So, I don't know. This is a weird one. I'm gonna go with 1593. Is that the right answer? Because it's a book that has an actual, like, the furthest year I could find that gives, like, a physical year. Unlike just, like, a book being written in the past, like, ancient Asia or China or something like that, or Viking or something like that, because they're not given, like, an actual year on the page, but they would definitely be older. You know, find a hardback book without a jacket. I don't think I'm gonna find that on my shelf unless I go back to my classics. There's no way. I don't have any. Well, I have some special editions. They're Cassandra Clare special. I don't want to do a Cassandra Clare. Well, okay. Do I do a Cassandra Clare or do I do a classic? We're going with nostalgia, so let's go with City of Bones, because City of Bones published, I believe, in 2007. Right, this is the 15th anniversary edition, so it's a hardback foiled edition, no dust jacket. I do want to eventually collect all of these editions. I think they're really pretty. Again, back to the nostalgia, City of Bones, Shadowhunters, Cassandra Clare. These were early 2000s published books. Still going strong. You know, I was reading a story the other day, or maybe, I can't remember where she told it. Maybe it was at one of her signings. But she was talking about trying to get this book published in 2007. And when she finally did, it had to come with a warning on it because Alec was a gay main character, and that, like, wasn't a thing in 2007. Like, people didn't write about that. And if they did, the book had to have a warning on it. And publishers were trying to get her to change that Alec was gay. But she refused to because Alec was based off of a personal friend of hers. And so Alec was always the character that was promised a happy ending. It's kind of a sad story. Alec was based off of her, like, a personal friend who had died. And so Alec was always the one character in her books that she, like, refused to change. She wouldn't change his sexuality. She always promised that he would get the happy ending because she wanted to give her friend who had died that happy ending of, like, the character in her books, which I thought was just an interesting story that in 2007, she wasn't allowed to get her book published because she had a main character in it who was gay. Isn't that crazy? And, like, she would refuse to budge on it. Find a teal/turquoise colored book. Okay. The spine of this is more teal or turquoise. There is some on the book as well. This is Once Upon a K-Prom by Kat Cho. This is the first Kat Cho book I read. This is a YA contemporary about a girl and a K-pop star. And with, like, K-pop Demon Hunters being really popular. I've been into K-pop for a while. Like, I love BTS, I love Idol. Also used to be G-Idol. I read this either as an e-arc or it was sent to me because I pre-ordered it, a personalized edition because I read it early, and it came with, like, these K-pop, like, fake K-pop cards as well, which I thought were really cute. It's basically a K-drama, but in a book, YA contemporary book, about a girl in high school who, basically her, like, ex-best friend, or, like, her best friend from, like, kindergarten, I believe, becomes this, like, international K-pop superstar, and she doesn't see him for a while. And then I think he returns, and they, like, kind of start, like, a little romance. But, like, if you don't know K-pop, stars are not allowed to have like romances. Like they're not supposed to be seen in the public eye. They're supposed to be like, it's weird. K-pop like culture is a little weird sometimes, but yeah, he moved to Korea, like became a K-pop star, comes back and then like asks her to prom, and he's like this superstar famous person now, and so like now they're getting chased by paparazzi and there's just all this stuff happening. It was a very cute, very short. I usually don't like contemporary, like YA contemporary books. This is one I overall really enjoyed and do recommend, especially if you are like a K-pop Demon Hunters girly, or like just like K-pop or like a K-drama. Like it's easy, it's short to read, it's sweet. I recommend it. Find a book with stars on it. Ooh. I am a stars girly. I feel like I know a lot of these. I could go full classic again, go to Lunar Chronicles, ACOTAR, special edition ACOTAR. I kind of want to try to find something a little less well known, but I kind of want to talk about it. This is a recent read that I read, Arcana Academy by Elise Kova. This is dark academia, romance, romantasy. It does have like stars and moons and suns all over it. This is a fantasy where they use like tarot magic, like they make these tarot cards and that's their magic system. And basically this girl goes to prison because she's illegally making these tarot cards. And you're only really allowed to make them once you've gone to like the academy and have been like trained and taken classes on it. You're not allowed to illegally make these tarot cards, which she got caught doing, goes to prison. There is kind of this like prince royalty, like this royal family. There's 3 princes. One of the princes runs the academy. He is the headmaster, and she basically gets pulled in as his fake fiance and starts going to like the classes. So it has a dark academia, it has romantasy, enemies to lovers, fake engagement, that kind of vibe in there. I actually really enjoyed this. It came out recently. The second book is not out yet. I wish I would have waited to read it a little bit until closer to the second book coming out, because I think I'm going to forget a lot of it. That tends to happen a lot, where I tend to forget the things. I need to just start waiting until series are completely out until I read them. That's kind of why I was also waiting with like Heavenly Bodies, stuff like that. I'm just not as good at reading a book as it's coming out anymore, and I don't know why, but there's still a good chunk of this that I remember, so I might be able to jump right into the second one. Find a non-YA book. That won't be hard for me. How non-YA do we want to go? Cause like I could do Full Spice. Let's do Full Spice. Which one do I want to do? One I've read, one I don't recommend. Ooh, should I make it spicy by making it a spicy book and a book I don't recommend? This crazy time of a book. This is Kiss of the Basilisk by Lindsay Straub. This is definitely not YA. This is basically just smut. That's what this is. And it's not even that good. People have been obsessing with this. I really wanted to buy this purely because of the sprayed edges. I thought the covers were really pretty. This is Kiss of the Basilisk. Kind of a why choose, but not really. Like, I hated the Basilisk, who is the MMC. He's just, I don't know what's with the new wave of like smutty Rex that like all these people are giving out, where the MMC is just an asshole. Like, why are we? They treat the female main character awfully. They're just kind of use her for her body, and they're like, I just want children from you. Let me teach you how to please people. That's this whole book. Like, yeah, definitely not YA. Definitely not. Do I recommend? Not really. I think I gave this book 1 star. This is a crazy time. Am I gonna read the second one? Probably. I bought both of them. I'm just gonna do it. Oh my lord. The vivid scenes that I could remember that I would get very, very, very... I mean, I'm not monetized. I could talk about them. Do I want to, though? There's a whole scene where he has to watch her... The Basilisk has to watch her do like a mating acceptance thing with his dad, and like everybody's watching. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's bad. It's bad. But like, if that's what you're looking for, snake smut. Definitely not YA. Scavenger Hunt was made a long time ago when, like, YA was just the thing. YA was the common thing, and the stars weren't the motif yet. Okay, find a book with a beautiful cover. This is the stunning, stunning, stunning Fairy Lou edition by Sasha Payton Smith. This is The Rose Bargain. This is just such a pretty cover. The second one I got sent the ARC for, but I hope I got the Fairy Lou. I can't remember. The original cover is pretty too. It's those two rings with a bunch of roses, but like this edition, oh, stunning. This is so pretty. This is like a fantasy Bridgerton is what it is. I read it. I actually really enjoyed it. I mean, look at the art. It's just so pretty. There's fairies in it. There's fairy bargains. It's like this whole society where girls, when they come of age to enter society, they go to like the fairy queen and they bargain for something, usually in the hopes of finding a better husband or a better match. It is that like Bridgerton-esque seasons entering society kind of vibe, but with fairy magic. And basically, like, usually they'll like trade a pinky for like the perfect hair or the perfect smile or like a beautiful singing voice or like something basically to help them attract a better husband. The main girl wants to find her lost sister, so she's like, I don't want a gift, I want you to help me find my sister. And it is a series, and the second one is out now, I believe. I really am excited to read it, but it is a beautiful book. That's it. That's the bookish scavenger hunt. I hope you liked it. It was fun to just talk about random books again. I haven't done that in a long time, or it feels like a long time. We went down nostalgia road today. That's what we did. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. I am now doing bi-weekly vlogs, so you'll get 2 vlogs a month basically, each containing 2 weeks of my life. Hopefully I start reading soon. I am 18 books behind my reading goal because I just have not been reading. I have not really read in the past like 2 months just because moving cross country is chaotic and I have not felt like reading. So I'm hoping with my books out and like talking about books and willing and wanting to do more booktube, book content, book forward content, that those vlogs will also be more book related, reading more, not so much. Well, recently it's just been exploring like Orlando and going to the parks and stuff like that, like things that I'm just new to living here, so I've been experiencing them for the first time, stuff like that. Bi-weekly vlogs will start containing more books, weekly reading vlogs, reading challenges. I'm hoping to start some reading challenges, TBR challenges, like a TBR game, sort of that kind of thing. Anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know. I love a good book tag. They're so easy. They're so nice. It's easy, fast. I don't really have to think about prepping or talking about like what I'm going to talk about beforehand. What? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you stick around, subscribe, like, comment, all that fun stuff. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Bye!